Hi, I'm Crystal. Today I've got a stamped Christmas card that I'm making as part of the Open Collaboration Stamp Play hosted by Susan's Heartstrings. I've got her channel linked below. Hope you will check her out along with that hashtag. So in this series of projects, I have gotten out all of my holiday supplies and I'm making just a few unique items instead of mass making my holiday cards. So I got out all my stamps and stamped them out. I got out all my holiday dies and die cut them. Got out all my pattern paper. And so now I'm just going to my basket and picking out a few things and making a few cards instead of mass making a big pile. So today's cards I'm making with a coordinated set. It's a rubber stamp of Winter Floral from Simon Says Stamp. A different set from Simon that has the sentiment that I'm adding to the card base. And I am getting the card base ready first before I attach everything because I have made way too many mistakes over the years. I also have to very carefully check to make sure I'm stamping the correct side of the card. But once I've got those sentiments added, I'm going to go on to use the coordinating layering coloring stencils for this stamp for my main image. These coloring stencils are relatively new. I would say they came out in the last couple of years. So in the past, if you had a stencil that had an image that you wanted to use to color, then you needed to carefully tape off everything in order to just color one piece of the image. With these newer layering coloring stencils, each one of the stencils colors one part of the image, so you don't have to tape off, you just have to select the right stencil and color that part of the image. So I think that these are probably more useful if you have got an incredibly detailed image, or if you don't like coloring. You can use the coloring stencils without the coordinating stamp, but I like that look of the coordinating stamped outline along with the coloring stencil to color the inside. Now I can see where these would be really attractive if you're making a huge number of holiday cards. Since I am this year making just a handful, I don't know that this really was a big time saver or that it really is an improvement over just coloring the images. I've certainly done cards with this stamp before where I used watercoloring or colored pencils to color the image, but it's a coordinated set, so I'm going to use all the pieces today. So this stencil, the first stencil I'm using, is just coloring the berries. It's the centers of the flowers and some little clusters of berries, and that's all that it colors. So once I've colored the 4 stamped images that I made, I will go on and color just the petals of the flowers. I'll get closer, and you can see there's a little piece of plastic that's covering up the berries. So this stencil only has openings on the petals of the poinsettias, and so as I apply the ink through the stencil, I'm only coloring the flowers. That's what makes this a speedy approach to coloring in the stamp. And you've got the opportunity, I think, to ink blend if you like to do that. I'm doing a single color that I think represents the pink of pink poinsettias, but you could blend colors just depending on the type of image that you're using. So in this case, the stamp set is a rubber stamp set, and I have to admit that while clear stamps are easy to store and use, I do like a red rubber stamp. So I'm going to work my way through all 4 of the coloring stencils, the berries, the petals, and then 2 different colors of leaves. Very quick and easy to do. Since I am doing the stenciling separated in time from stamping the image originally, I probably spent the most time figuring out which way the stencil should be turned before I started applying the ink. But once I got the stencil going the right way, brushing on the ink was super easy. So very quick project, and since I only made 4 of these, it was relaxing and enjoyable. Whole thing, beginning to end, probably took, I don't know, an hour, including die cutting the green layer for the base of the cards, stamping the greeting on the inside of the card, stamping the image onto the card front, and then doing the coloring stencils. So once I've got all 4 of the coloring stencils on the main image for this card, I will go ahead and die cut this layer as well. Now I have to say that my plates are getting a little bit old, so you can see my magic mat is well worn. And then once I die cut my layer, my die cuts are a little bit hairy. So when you get little bits of paper hanging off the edge of your die cuts, that is because your plate has got a lot of cuts in it, and it's getting to be time to replace mine, I can tell. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble all of my layers, making sure that I'm putting the layers on the correct side of the card. Made that mistake many times as well. And then once I've got everything assembled, I am going to go back and use a little bit of Dollar Tree iridescent glitter glue on the berries, just for a little bit of sparkle on my image. And that will wrap up these stamped and colored Christmas cards. So I'm having a lot of fun working my way through my basket of Christmas supplies and making different cards for all of my different recipients. And just making a few at a time feels like a little bit less like work than waiting till the last minute and then making 40 or 50 of the exact same card. So I highly recommend it if you are making your own set of Christmas cards. Just a lot of fun. And I certainly thank you for joining me today. Have a great day.